It has been 22 days since a man entered the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and killed 11 people. They died in prayer, praising God in the temple, their place of worship. They felt safe there. The neighborhood they were in had relatively low crime rates, very little anti-Semitic activity, and no one would have expected this to happen. A temple is a place of sanctuary, of prayer and peace, whose walls signify the holiness that is inside. What large stones and what large buildings, the disciples cry, looking at their own temple. Such an impressive place for God's house. Nothing bad could happen here, the disciples must be thinking. Nothing could get through these walls, through this building. Jesus knows better. You see those great buildings, he says? Not one stone will be left upon another. All will be thrown down. Jesus, always trying to remind us that what we put our faith in, what we are awed by, is flawed. We amass these great things around us, things that protect us, give us power, beautify our lives. And we have the tendency to build them up in our minds, to believe that nothing can destroy what is so dear to us, so mighty, so impressive. But hate can. Hate can topple anything made by humans. Anything that we gather around ourselves and put our faith and our trust in. Because to the murderer who entered the Tree of Life Synagogue, those walls, that building, was nothing but a barrier that could easily be passed. And for a few moments, all was thrown down by an unspeakable act of violence against God's own people. Our gospel this morning is known as Mark's mini apocalypse, a little reminder of our human, earthly frailty. We live it over and over with each mass shooting, each body starving in the streets, each fire and hurricane and earthquake, mini apocalypses, birth pangs, as Jesus calls them, that shake us to the core and make us question how we will ever go on from here. It's the end of the world, over and over again. Don't put your faith and awe in these buildings, Jesus is saying, because they are nothing. Even with how impressive they look, they won't stand forever. But we will. We rise up time and time again through our own many ends to the world. We persevere. We come together. We join hands and hearts, and we are one another's strength. We are one another's stones. Because though this mini-apocalypse gospel reminds us of our human frailty, it also reminds us of our strength. The strength that comes not from us, but from the God we believe in, who we put our faith in. This is not the end, where heaven and earth are joined for eternity. No, all of these things are little glimpses of that end. Pain and suffering and loss, and then love and hope and rebirth. Look at what happened 22 days ago. It lasted just for a moment, the destruction of that temple. And then, all around the country, voices rose up in mourning, in remembrance, in hope for something better to be born from these birth pangs. Communities, both Jewish and non-Jewish, gathered together to show the world and themselves that their faith is not in a structure, but in God. That this is not the end, because they are here, and God is with them, and they will remember. They'll remember Joyce Feinberg, Rich Gottfried, Rose Mallinger, Jerry Rabinowitz, Cecil Rosenthal, David Rosenthal, Bernice Simon, Sylvan Simon, Daniel Stein, Melvin Wax, and Irving Younger. They'll remember, and we will stand beside and help them. Remember not the hatred of that nameless man who killed these people, but instead the faith that they professed and died expressing. The Tree of Life Synagogue still stands. On their website reads a message. Our synagogue appreciates the outpouring of support in the wake of the tragic shooting which occurred during Shabbat services on October 27th, 2018. The support shown worldwide proves that love truly is stronger than hate. Though there's a lot of talk of destruction in our gospel reading this morning, that is not the point. The point is that even with all of these many ends of the world, all of these birth pangs, when the labor is over and the baby is here, the pain grows duller with time. It's going to take a long time to soothe the pain felt in this community. But already, we can see glimpses of new life. Relationships forming across a divide that has existed for a long time. The healing of two different groups of people, once at odds with one another, now finding common ground in their support of each other. We can overcome hate by not returning it, by following in the footsteps of the Tree of Life congregation, who speak out not in hate towards the anti-Semitics who propel this violence against them, but rather speak words of gratitude and love, even in the midst of their deep suffering. we can remember again and again that what saves us is not our buildings or our guns or our bulletproof vests or anything human at all. What saves us is God and our faith in Him and our belief in life's continued rebirth, not in its destruction, but in the life that comes after.